The story of Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, where the Reiner tragedy began, is going from bad to much, much worse. Now, statements are out there suggesting celebrity guests tried to figure out how to bring in the authorities for a mental emergency, but were thwarted by the head of Team Coco. Are the lawyers already riding the locomotion into cleanup control for Conan and crew? We'll tell you on the other side. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is the Monday before Christmas, and, well, it's also the end of Hanukkah. So to all of you who've been celebrating, Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas to all the rest of you. Folks, let's dive into the news. It's not fun, but it is one that we need to continue looking at because it could reshape Hollywood. Truly, we mean it, and we'll tell you why in just a minute. Click the like button, drop a comment down below. If you see the hype, it's ripe to hit it. And folks, here we go. This is out of Bored Panda by Samradi Goel. Conan O'Brien stopped 911 call as the son of Rob's explosive fight with dad terrified guests at party. This is the article that's been written. Came out December 21st. Folks, we're not rehashing old stuff. This is new, and there's something in here you have to see. And it's the reason we're doing this again. We covered this yesterday. This just got much. How many more can I say? Much worse for Conan and everybody there. And I'll tell you what the strategy is, I believe, behind all this. It says Conan O'Brien reportedly intervened to stop guests from calling 911 during a heated argument between Nick Reiner and his parents, filmmaker Rob Reiner, and photographer Michelle Singer Reiner at the comedian's holiday party. Okay, we know that. That's not new. Hang tight, though. We'll get there. On December 13th, Nick attended the Christmas party with his parents, where his behavior grew increasingly alarming and erratic. The volatile confrontation prompted attendees to call the police and even request a psychiatric hold. Let me say it again. According to Bored Panda, the volatile confrontation prompted attendees to call the police and even request a psychiatric hold. However, O'Brien stepped in saying, "It's my house, my party. I'm not calling the police." He talked the guests out of contacting authorities. Rob and Michelle were found lifeless hours later, December 14th, and their demise was ruled, well, you know what happened. You all know what happened. Brutal, terrible way. And no parent should ever have their life in this way. This is you all who have kids, you know, you love your kids. The idea that your kid would do this, and there's not much worse in life. And to think that that was the final way, and the dad is elderly, how horrible. How absolutely horrible. This is terrible. And yet it's worse. And listen, as I said in the video yesterday, people tell me Conan is a great guy. He's a wonderful guy. People love Conan. And one can just either surmise one or two things. Either this is all false reporting across these various articles that we've been reading. Or two, Conan made a terrible mistake. Horrible mistake. And the lack of comment thus far, not a great sign. I don't know. Here's where we get into the ugliest part, and we didn't know this yesterday when we did the video. This is new, and it's so bad. Sources told the Daily Mail that Nick's confrontation with his father became so distressing and scary that partygoers decided to call the police, okay? They got in an argument, the father and son, got so bad and loud, someone wanted to call the police to report it. But here's the other source, and this is new. Another source revealed some guests, and remember, this was the Hollywood A-listers. That's what we've been told, right? Been told that Daily Mail has said this. This was the apex Christmas celebration. Another source revealed some guests got worried about whether Nick should be placed on a psychiatric hold due to his behavior. When the blank was hitting the fan, somebody said, "We need to call the police." The conversation was about getting this kid put into a mental health hold. That's where you dial that number and you get the health people out there and you put them you put somebody in a situation where they're involuntarily detained. If this guy was acting this badly at this party, that celebrities were talking about, hey, we need to protect Rob, we need to get this guy into a psychiatric situation. And if this next paragraph is true, oh my. It says, but Conan O'Brien intervened and told the guests not to call the police since it was his house and his party. While some guests understood the desire to avoid a public scene, the squabble between Nick and Rob was described as intense. Jennifer at Fluffy Non says Conan must feel awful about this decision. At Michael S. Kajura says I'd feel terrible and guilty responsible. Now, I'm not here to tell you what happened, folks. I wasn't there. I'm just reporting on what these articles are saying, okay? And I'm going to go down here. This is where we get into, this is where the investigators are going to be. And this is why we're covering this, right? Is because we know. We know. If we're reading this in articles, you better believe the police are going to be finding out what's going on. The detectives are going to be finding out what's going on. Lawyering up, you bet. And how many celebrities? Here's what we don't know, folks. We know some names. We know Bill Hader. We know Jane Fonda, right? We've got some names out there, but we don't know everybody who was at this party. Who was at this party? Who knew? Who are these people? I'll guarantee you when we get into this trial, you're going to know all the names. Tina at Lost Dogs 20 says Conan should have let them call the cops. Nick could have been placed on a 5150 hold for 3 days. That might have calmed him down. This is the speculation. This is the hindsight that's going to begin happening, okay? Now, I want to throw a suggestion to you, okay? And then I'm going to read this out of the wrap. I talked about this on the Patreon yesterday. I'm going to tell you about it now. But folks, if you want to hear it first sometimes, www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. Get over there. We got a 75% off deal going right now if you'd like to hear my thoughts early sometimes. But I'll bring it to you right now. Those celebrities now who are saying, you know, we wanted to do a psychiatric hold, but darn it, Conan just wouldn't let us. Team Coco just wouldn't let us do it. What are the chances, folks, that celebrities of that sort of magnitude might already be figuring out what the defense is for them because they didn't call? How much would they like to throw Conan under the bus? Because let me tell you something. Every one of those individuals who watched that, it's not up to Conan whether they call 911. And every single one of them had a phone. And they chose not to. So who is it they're going to throw under the bus now? Conan, because it's his house, it's his party. You all know how this works, right? Now, did Conan mess up? Maybe. We're in the fog of war right now. I don't know. Let's see what the truth is. He may have badly. However, it could be, sadly, that all these people failed, and now they want to throw somebody under the bus and say, wait, Conan took our phones away from us. We couldn't even get to them. Yeah, sure. Out of the wrap, here's another defense that's coming out. The Reiner fight at Conan O'Brien's party, says attendee, it's bull cuss. Alyssa Ray says, bull cuss. No, we didn't see this. Get ready, though, because I'm telling you, the defense is here. It says an executive who attended the event said that O'Brien saw no fight between Nick and Rob the night before the film legend and his wife were found in the situation that happened. Let's read the defense. Now, this is out of the wrap. It's hosted by Yahoo Entertainment because the wrap has this behind a paywall, but they've got it out on Yahoo Entertainment, so we'll just read it here. It says Rob and his son Nick did not have a blowout argument at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. Oh, really? Despite all these other articles saying that it happened, and these quotes and all these, didn't happen, says the wrap. Okay. What happened then? Anonymous reports of a shouting match between the film legend and his addict son the night before what happened occurred were published by Page Six and TMZ, with the New York Post calling it a massive blow-up. Daily Mail talked about it. But, according to an executive of the rap, said that's bullcuss. Okay. All right. Well, tell us what happened then. All right. Well, here's what it says. The New York Times reported that accounts of a shouting match were, quote, overblown. Okay. What do you mean they were overblown? Like, that means it still happened, right? The rap was told that O'Brien saw no fight, no argument. I don't care if Conan literally saw the fight or the argument. If everybody else saw it and he wasn't in the room and they told him about it, I don't care if he saw it or not. What is this? You listen, the rap. Let me talk to you hang on, folks. Alyssa Ray, what are you up to exactly? There's a lot of trickery right here. What are you up to exactly? It's bullcuss. There was no fight. What? And now you're telling me that that's because Conan didn't see it? It was overblown? I don't care if Conan saw it. I don't care if he didn't see it. I don't care how you want to categorize it. You say, well, it's overblown. Tell it to the detectives. There's some trickery here now. I mean, the headline's not matching what you're telling me. Quote, there was this kid walking around making people feel uncomfortable, eavesdropping on conversations, that kind of thing. The individual requested anonymity said, no, he's a full-grown adult who's wearing orange right now because of something that happened. Some kind of kid walking around. Who's saying this, folks? This person's anonymous too. Who's saying this? What's the motive here? What's the narrative they're trying to build up? Who's paying who? What's happening here where we got to have these anonymous people saying this? The attendee was vehement that O'Brien and guests, which guests, did not witness a shouting match between Rob and Nick, adding, if there had been a big fight with the Reiners, there were 1 million people there I knew. No one mentioned it to me. Oh, wait a minute. You mean you're basing that on whether or not someone mentioned it to you? And I love this, folks. They're so dumb. They're so infinitely dumb compared to mainstream America. You're so much smarter than these Hollyweirds. There were 1 million people there I knew. Now, I know that's hyperbole. But, so you're telling me this wasn't a Christmas party of 20 or 30 people in Conan's giant mansion? You're telling me there's a lot of people there, aren't you? Hey, police. You hear that? There's a lot of people there. You're going to get a lot of witnesses. You're going to find out who tried to make calls and who got told no and all that stuff. All that stuff. See, folks, I think what's happening here is I think the defense mechanisms have kicked in. The messaging machine of Hollyweird has started. The attendee continued. I said to Conan the next day, well, hey, Rap, you're going to get a call from the detectives, eh? Who is this guy calling Conan, who might be a witness to the startup of this? Who knows? I don't know if Conan is or not. But you're calling someone after they got deleted? You're calling Conan, who allegedly told people don't call? I said to Conan the next day, says this person, what is all this stuff about? He said, I saw no fight. Does that absolve you? If somebody comes to you and says, hey, big, there's something bad going down. I mean, we need to get some help. This is bad. Does it absolve you if you say no? And I don't know that happened, folks. But I'm reading the articles and I'm reading the quotes and I'm reading, and I'm reading this. And you know what I see when I read this article? And you all can go read it. You all can go read this article. I see a headline that doesn't match what's in the paragraphs. You telling me that it's bullcuss? No Reiner fight at Conan O'Brien's party. Based on a guy who says he didn't see it. And Conan didn't see it. And that's the max of your story. That's the whole, and that's what you're saying. You better start telling us, did Conan really tell the attendees not to call the police or not? Because this other stuff's getting ugly. It's getting bad. It's getting real bad. Folks, I told you yesterday for the video. I'm going to tell you again today. What's the takeaway from this? There's two things, okay? There's the analysis of Hollywood, and there's the analysis that we can actually incorporate into our own lives. And I'll take it in that order. Issue number one for Hollywood. We got 1 million celebrities that I know, this guy knows, the anonymous person who talks to Conan, maybe before the police can. I don't know. The people are so dumb. These people are so dumb. But Hollywood just had a nexus of celebrity nut jobs all put together at Conan O'Brien's house, where hours later, somebody was deleted, some bodies were deleted, and the confrontation, by many accounts, may have started at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. You know what? We're at the point now where so many sources are saying it. I think we're getting real close to just saying, yep, okay? Nobody did what they were supposed to do. And that nexus of celebrities, folks, they don't want you to know this. That trial that's going to happen, unless Hollywood pulls off some real special stuff, because they know people and they know people. Unless they pull off some real trickery right here, as these articles have done, they're going to be testifying. They might be testifying in court. They may be under investigation. I don't know. They may already be under investigation for what happened. I don't know. Did this guy get some? Folks, just put it out there. Did this guy get some of the stuff at the party? Did he? Did he lose his mind because somebody gave him a... What happened at this party? Who's involved in this party? We want to know now. Like, I love Conan, or at least I did. I love Team Coco. I'm not against Conan O'Brien. But now I want to know what happened at the party. And now I want to know who gave who what, and how did the guy get the stuff, and how did he show up, and how did... I want to know all the stuff. And so are the police, and so are the investigators. Maybe prosecutors going to want to know that stuff. Will the Hollywood machine protect everybody? I don't know. Now we want to know. All right. What about the personal side of this? What can we actually do in our lives? Once again, I'm going to implore you, be the kind of person that when someone tells you, and I'm not suggesting that it absolutely happened at this party, but just theoretically, when someone tells you to do the thing you know you should not do, to look the other way, to not pay attention to something that's wrong in this world, even if there will be a negative consequence for you, there is a greater negative consequence in permitting wrong and evil to fester than to go ahead and step into that light and take on the challenge. And sometimes it can be really bad to do that. Like the level of heat that you could receive for that, depending on the context, can be immense. The greater the pressure you might feel not to do the right thing, the greater the darkness is that's hoping you won't, so it can continue to do what it does, and that's make this world an ugly, awful place. So do the right thing. Do the right thing. When it's the hard thing, especially do the right thing. Folks, that's the story for today. We'll continue to cover this, I suspect, over the next weeks. Now, we may not get much over Christmas. Right? Christmas is Thursday. Going to get a break on this, but I would suspect that come the week after, and especially in January, we're going to find out who was at the party. We may find out what caused this guy to go nuts. Did somebody give him something at the party? What was going on at the party? I'm not suggesting it did. I'm suggesting it's time to find out. It's time for the investigation, and I think we'll start getting some answers over the next weeks, because I think this is going to go rapidly, honestly. And we'll find out who was there. All right, folks, if you would so care to help the channel out, click the like button, share, subscribe, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts. And until the next time, we have the honor, the privilege, and the responsibility of sharing time together in a truthful way, truth with a capital T. Keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.